So this is what it has done for the table. It means Australia go ahead of South Africa. Of course, they take on South Africa in that last game. Just a reminder that 1 plays 4 and 2 plays 3. If it stays that way and India qualify in 4th and Australia stay top, then they will go head-to-head in Navi Mumbai in that second semi-final. Former World Cup winning captain Aaron Finch has joined me. You wouldn't put it past Alyssa Healy, assuming she's fit, to be lifting the World Cup here in this one. That was phenomenal from Australia.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal performance again. Yeah, you're right. And the thing that I've loved so far about this Australian girls team is that they've had their backs against the wall a couple of times. There's been a few times where they were 76 for 7 against Pakistan. Beth Mooney gets 100, gets them out of trouble. First game against New Zealand, they're in some trouble. Ash Gardner gets 100 tonight.
68 for 4.
Yeah, 68 for 4 with an England side that were up and about, but then a clinical partnership. So they've got a lot of bases covered. Like you said, wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, but we know that cricket, you get a little bit ahead of yourself and it can bite you very, very quickly. So I know that they'll keep being as clinical as they can be right throughout.
Sutherland with the bat, you made the point a couple of times on commentary, she's had a quiet sort of World Cup. She gave herself time. I suppose she had the ability to give herself time because they weren't chasing 300. Nonetheless, she did that and it paid off. Yeah,
she's a wonderful player. I think the way that she uses all of her skills to her advantage, it's not just about walking out and trying to blast them out of the park, or as a modern game suggests that you go about it, you got your back to the wall and you just go out and try and hit your way out of it. She uses her footwork back and forward. She uses every piece of the puzzle. She's so hard to bowl to. She's got great reach. She's got an ability to get across her stumps. For someone as tall as her, to get down and sweep, that's a hard shot. Nothing phases her. You've seen her with the ball in some really difficult spots as well. She's always in a position where she wants to contribute in the game. She's a wonderful competitor as well. So she's only going to get better and better.
Sweeps aren't necessarily a forte for a number of reasons. One, you've just given her height. Her ability, though, to knock down the ground on pitches that might be a little bit too pacey. We've seen it heaps of times in the 100. When she hits down the ground, she's almost unstoppable. A couple of times in the 100, when she's tried to get a little funky, it's not gone her way.
Yeah, and I think when you've got so many options, at times you can overthink it and you start to go, well, I've got this in my kit bag. I need to use it at some point. But like you said, the way that she moves her feet down the ground, down the crease, she gets beaten in length quite a bit, but she's got so much time, so much respect for the ball, I think, that she's able to just knock it down the ground, crisis averted, get off strike, reassess, we'll go again.
Clever with the ball too, and her variations.
Yeah, very clever. I think the fact that they're entrusting her at the death more so than they do Megan Shute, who's an experienced campaigner, is great reward for her. Her development of her slower ball, the back of the hand, which has been 18 months in the making, that was an absolute jaffa to get the ball rolling. Australia were under the pump there at the start as well, so they were going around the park, but then she uses all of her tricks, all of her skill, all of her competitiveness to really drag that middle part back along with Alana King. And like you said, they weren't chasing 300, and that's a part of what she brings to the table is that ability to mix it up, get wickets in the middle.
Tactically as well, she did Tammy Beaumont like a kipper.
Did her beautifully.
That wasn't great, bright cricket, though, from Tammy, was it?
No, it wasn't, particularly on the back of a partnership that hadn't been able to get momentum. She'd invested so much time into that innings that you need to be prepared to go, you know what, I'm going to be the one that's going to go and bat really, really deep. I'm going to try and take it to the 45th. We need somebody to up the ante around. So from that point of view, tactically questionable. But overall, you know what? They've qualified for the final, so maybe there's an opportunity to experiment.
Welcome along, Ash.
Well
played.
Thank you very much.
You had to fight for that at times. What's the overriding feeling as you stand with us now?
Yeah, I guess lots of happiness. I think when you bat in the middle order, you can either come in when you're 4 for a lot or 4 for not many.
It's been the other way most of the time.
It has, and I think it's just shown the longer you're out there, obviously the easier it gets. It's pretty cliche, but just making sure that you stick to your processes. We always speak about building big partnerships, and I guess when I got out there with Bells, she had a pretty good read of the wicket, so I was making sure that I was just really clinical in, I guess, trying to get off strike for starters, but and then if I got a ball in my area, making sure that I was capitalising on that as well.
You did take your time. You were slow, but you know you can catch up.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the mantras that I have is I shouldn't panic. In T20 cricket, you probably panic a little bit just because you're behind the 8 ball, but in one-day cricket, you know that you're always going to catch up. And I think I was 5 or 15, and then I got 2 boundaries away, and that kind of just got me going. And for me, it's just making sure that I'm moving my feet because I was a bit stuck in the mud at the start and it was a bit of concrete in my shoes. But yeah, it was nice to spend some time out in the middle going into a huge back end.
Was there much discussion out in the middle about the last couple of runs with Annabel? She was close. It was a race on for the 100 there for a while.
Yes, we did. We needed 12 runs between us and there was only 11 to play with.
Yep.
And I basically asked her, how are we going to do this? And then I happened to get there first and then obviously blocked out those last 3 balls that over. And then I just said to her, what are you going to try and do here to try and hit a 6? And she just said, try and hit straight. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And then there was 1 run to win. And
she got it. She got the 2.
I know. And then she said,
just for 1. Yeah.
Well, she's just admitted to NASA over there. She ran out of gas. Just get the job done. Yeah, fair enough.
She bowled
absolutely.
10 overs
absolutely.
and bowled brilliantly. So yeah, she probably did.
Have some of the victories that the team have had in this World Cup been all the more pleasing because you have had your backs against the wall? You've not just been posting 350 and then restricting the other lot to 200 and something.
Yeah, I think that's why this team's so great, and I guess why we win those small moments that end up being big moments. We've had to scrap at times. We were 7 for 70 against Pakistan, and Moons and Kingy saved the day. And there's been different people stand up in each game, so it's been really pleasing to see that we can take a lot of confidence out of what we've done so far. Obviously, we have one huge game left before the finals. Hopefully, win that, finish top of the table, and then see whoever we're versing.
Right throughout the first innings, we identified England, they just lost all their momentum. The spinners come in. Kingy did a wonderful job with the ball, yourself with the ball, Annabel picking out wickets. Is that something that you as a side have identified, the need to continue to build momentum and not just through trying to slog boundaries, just like you said, you come to the wicket and you knocked them around, got off strike and built momentum that way? Is that a focus?
It is, yeah, and it shows when, they had a really good power play and then you kind of expect that the momentum keeps going. And then when you bring on slow bowling, it kind of stalls that a little bit. And then for us, on the flip side, making sure that, if we get off to a flyer through the power play, making sure that we don't let our foot off. And, we've got so many match winners throughout our whole batting order, so we know that we genuinely bat down to number 10. So we have that flexibility to play with freedom. And I guess it just shows when, people are making hundreds at number 5 and 6, which maybe some other teams aren't doing.
Yep.
Many congratulations. We appreciate your time so soon after the game. Well
Thank
done.
you.
We've dealt a lot with Australia. Let's deal with England. Now, you can take the positives. Tammy Beaumont's been short run. She makes 78 today. But in terms of taking something from this and saying, right, we've got to put that right, what would it be for you from England?
Well, I just think how they lost all momentum in that middle order. I think when Alana King come on to bowl, there was almost like a concession that she's bowling well. You know what? We'll play her out. You can't afford to do that. Not when you're playing against Australia. There's times when you say, this bowler is our biggest threat, so we might play her slightly different, lower the risk, but you can't afford to just sit there and wait for the best players in the world to make easy mistakes. It just doesn't happen very often. So from that point of view, I think you've just got to change your mindset slightly. It was almost as if they were worried about making a mistake. Maybe there's some overemphasis on Alana King's bowling and said, right, if she doesn't get wickets, we're a big chance of winning. So you have to be brave at some point. I would rather see a side, particularly who's already qualified. And this is an opportunity to say, right, we're putting a marker down against Australia. You've beaten us black and blue for years now. We're going to put a marker down. Alana King, we're coming after you. We're going to put you on the back foot. If it doesn't go well, you say, okay, lesson learnt for next time.
Interesting that, because they don't have a left-hander they can bring in to try and do, because they might face Australia in the final. Who knows? That could come down the line, and Alana King in Mumbai will be a challenge. Switch hits? Can you knock her off a line like that?
You have to try something because she's in such good form. She doesn't serve up rubbish. So when you're saying, we're waiting for a ball to sit up that we can get a pull shot away, then we'll use our feet, you have to be proactive. You have to be prepared to say, right, now's my time to take a risk. It doesn't have to be trying to slog one out of the park risk. Use your feet, get up and down the wicket, then get back, and just some tactical changes, and I think it starts with your mindset.
Finchy, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Indeed. And
always better when Australia win.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.